afternoon and welcome to the Christian and Small Nonstop Advocates video blog. I'm Julie Ellis and today we have Richard Smith with us. Richard is a founding partner, served as managing partner, and is routinely recognized by his peers and industry leaders for his work in complex and corporate litigation. I think to date he's tried more than 200 jury trials to verdict, so it's safe to say Richard is very comfortable in the courtroom. And while we normally cover legal topics on this podcast, I discovered that Richard is involved in two youth organizations, and I really wanted to learn more. So, Richard, can you tell us a little bit more about Ransom and Next Level Sports Foundation?
I'd be glad to. The common thread between those two organizations is a young man named Jeremy Towns. Everybody calls him JT. I got to know Jeremy first through my church, Brookwood Baptist, and through Samford University, where he was a student and where I graduated. JT graduated from Winona High School, and he only played 1 year of high school football. But he made enough of an impression in that 1 year to get a scholarship to Samford University. And during that time, turned out Jeremy was a really good student on top of being a really good athlete. So he finished his time at Samford, majoring in pre-med, applied to med school and was accepted. But he had a dream of playing professional football. And for a period of about 3 years, he was on the practice squad for a couple of NFL teams. He'll quickly tell you that he never played in a pro game, but he certainly was around professional athletes for those 3 years and was on the practice squad, making a good salary doing that. But always in the back of Jeremy's mind, he knew he wanted to go to med school, and he deferred his enrollment and then went to med school at the University of South Alabama Med School. It is now doing an emergency medicine residency here in Birmingham.
Wow.
I've spent lots of time with Jeremy while he was at Samford, talking about dreams and aspirations. And one of the things that he was really interested in talking with young people from the Birmingham community was to try to help them understand that you can use an athletic scholarship to provide for lots of opportunities besides playing pro sports. So it came that to genesis of this idea initially with Next Level Sports Camps. So what Jeremy would do, he put together a program, rented facilities, primarily at Legion Field, where he would put on football sports camps for kids age 6 to 12. And he would call upon his former teammates at Samford and some professional players to come in and lead the sports camps. But there was a component of them as well to talk to the young people about using the gifts that they had to play sports to hopefully get academic scholarships or athletic scholarships, and then to use them as a segue into a vocation. So he would have former players from Samford, UAB, Alabama, different schools, that would come in and say, I use my scholarship not to play professional football, but to be a State Farm agent or a banker with Compass Bank, or any number of other vocations that were unrelated to sports. That program, Next Level, then expanded to 6 different cities, all the while Jeremy was majoring in pre-med at Samford and trying to lead lots of other activities.
He was in med school while he was doing this?
Yes, he
Wow.
continues doing it now while he is in his residency. The second organization, called RANSOM, is an acronym for Radical Athletes in Student Oasis Ministries, which is a mouthful. But Jeremy wanted to also reach out to other athletes who may not have as good of academic tutoring and opportunities as he had at Sanford, but he wanted to bring together some ideas about uh, faith, spirituality, academics, athletics, and vocation. And uh, Ransom primarily runs Bible studies and provides academic counseling, but also provides some career guidance to athletes. I think most people don't really realize just how busy athletes are. You have to maintain your academic standing to be qualified to play sports. A lot of them are juggling relationships at school and trying to determine what they want to do with life. So we started the first Ransom organization at Sanford. It's now grown to several different colleges, as far north, I think, as Murray State, and some, I think, as far south as South Florida. And Jeremy was really the impetus to get that organization off the ground as well. Has several different chapters, and all of them have a group leader that leads Bible studies, but also coordinates with the athletes to help them with any type of tutoring, special assistance they may need, but also to try to talk with them about how vocation, faith, academics, and athletics can all combine to help them reach whatever goals they would like as adults. So I tell Jeremy he is my hero for lots of reasons. Number one, he did not come from the best academic background. He will tell you that he was a pretty lazy student in high school, but to play that 1 year of football, to then get a scholarship to Sanford and take advantage of the academic opportunities there, and to see him now as a resident doing an emergency medicine residency is just remarkable to be.
Well, we may have to do a follow-up and have him as a guest. That sounds like he would be very interesting to talk to. So what is it that you do with these organizations?
Well, I started out by helping get the organizations formed. Both of them are 501c3 charitable organizations. I help with typical legal advice, with contracts for venues, making sure they have the right insurance, making sure that we have the right release and waiver forms for the participants in the youth camps. This past year, interestingly enough, Ransom raised enough money to buy a tour bus, and getting it properly licensed and getting the right insurance for it to be a passenger vehicle transporting student athletes around was an interesting thing that I was happy to help Jeremy and the Ransom organization accomplish.
So they were able to have camps despite COVID this summer?
They didn't get to have them this past summer because of the COVID. And I'm, Jeremy has so much on his plate. I don't know how he makes enough time to do all he does, but I know the Ransom organization is really probably the primary outlet for him now. Just to show you what kind of a leader Jeremy is, he started a Bible study group while he was in med school at South Alabama that grew to have 30, 40, 50 students participating in it while he was in med school. He is such a charismatic, energetic young man. The world needs more people like Jeremy Towns.
Well, one of my follow-up questions was going to be, what have you gained from doing this work? But I think you've already answered that. I think when you said Jeremy's your hero, I think we know what you've gained. What impact have you seen this have on students or kids?
To know that there are resources that are faith-based and directed towards helping students navigate all the things that collegiate athletes have to do, and knowing that these organizations are on several campuses, it truly is amazing to see something like this grow out of an idea of a single
Yeah.
young man here in Birmingham, and then to see the reach across several states and several campuses. And also in the next level sports camps, just knowing that uh, the presentation of using academics and athletics to help young people reach a vocation
Yeah.
is really remarkable because uh, the odds of making it in professional
Yeah.
sports are so low, but the odds of getting a scholarship to a college, university, and then making something out of that is much higher. And I think Jeremy, through Next Level and through Ransom, has presented that there are lots of things that can be accomplished using the combination of sports and academics
Yeah.
and turning it into a vocation. And just knowing that could be accomplished, even if you don't make it as a
Yeah.
pro
That's
athlete,
right.
that there is an opportunity for you to advance your career and advance your life by participating in those activities.
That's great. I know we talk a lot about you can't be what you can't see. So having somebody there to show you what opportunities are available to open those doors and show a path is incredible,
Well,
especially
and he
when
was
you're
such a,
building your path.
yeah, it was such an unlikely
Yeah.
candidate. I mean, he only played 1 year of high school football. Uh, as I said, he didn't consider himself to be a very academic student. And to take that to where he uh, made all conference
Yeah.
while he was at Samford, and to get opportunities as a undrafted free agent to make the
Mhm.
practice squad of two different professional football teams,
That's
all
amazing.
the while having the med school dream in the back of his mind.
Yeah.
And now looking at him in his residency is just a remarkable story. And as I
That's
said,
right.
I just think the world of JT. And I'm so glad to see that he is so creative and so thoughtful and generous with his time to try to help other student athletes.
Well, I hope we could maybe do a follow-up and have him on here. I think it would be fascinating. People would love to hear from him. And that kind of leads me into my last question. What advice would you have for attorneys just starting their careers on or starting their practices on why it's important to do pro bono work and do community service or give back to the communities when you are trying to get a practice started?
Well, my mentor for many years at this firm was an old gentleman who's now deceased named Bibb Allen. And
Mhm.
Bibb Allen had more work and more clients than any lawyer I've ever known. But for 30 years, Bibb taught at Birmingham Law School the introductory torts classes. And he did it for no pay, never took a nickel teaching all those years. And I asked him one time, Bibb, how do you make time? Why are you doing this? Because I know how busy your practice is. And the response was, is that Richard, lawyers are supposed to give back to the community. We're supposed to help people. And that resonated with me that there are a lot of times where I don't feel like I'm helping very much in my practice, but I never have that feeling when I'm helping a charitable organization or helping a young lawyer just getting started in a practice. Uh, and I would tell other young lawyers, look to try to find some way to plug into your community, to do something good for your community. You will get more rewards out of it than you will ever imagine. Uh,
Yes.
just knowing that I have been a part of JT's journey is something that I'm incredibly proud of, just playing a small role in that and knowing how many people that it has helped because of my connection with him. It's been very rewarding to me.
That's great. Well, I think we need to do a follow-up and have JT on. I would love to hear more and thank you for sharing your time with us today. And those of you who have joined us, thank you. And I hope that you will check out some of our other podcasts and video blogs on our Nonstop Advocates channel on YouTube or visit us at csattorneys.com. Thank you again, Richard. This
Thank
was
you,
great.
Julie. Appreciate your interest.
Bye.
Bye.